Hi everyone. I welcome you all at this SPSS Essential Training for Beginners. Uh, in this training, actually, I will focus on the most basic concepts that are related to SPSS. So this training will be useful for, especially for the beginners and especially for those people who do not have any previous knowledge regarding the SPSS. First, let me explain to you what actually mean by SPSS. SPSS, if you look into this abbreviation SPSS, this is the means statistical package for the social science. In this software, we actually used it for the quantitative data analysis, and it is frequently used in social sciences when we talk about psychology, sociology, management sciences, and even the education and other related fields as well. But in today's training, we will specifically talk uh, about the SPSS usage for the survey data analysis. If you are pursuing your degree in management sciences, education, psychology, and you have a pure quantitative research in which you have completed your data or you have collected your data through a survey, which you actually put that data in the SPSS and want to come up with certain results, then this SPSS software is best to analyze your data. So in today's training, we will talk about all these points from data entry to all basic analysis, including descriptive statistics. Then we will talk about correlation analysis, and also we will talk about the clone by alpha and how to create the variables. So in today's training, we will try to have all the basic analysis. But in the next week, we will have another training. In that training, we will focus on some advanced analysis like regression. Then we will talk about mediation and moderation analysis. But in today's video and training, we will focus only on the basic stuff. So rather than telling you the theory of SPSS, I will directly go to how to enter the data in SPSS, and then after that, how to do the different analysis on SPSS. In the same way, if you will have any specific question, you can write in the comment of this video, right? So let's first talk about how to enter the data in SPSS. You can see on the screen, here are two tabs. One is data view and other one is variable view. So whenever we have any question here and we want to transfer that data on SPSS sheet, then here are two ways. First one is just to prepare your SPSS sheet, and then you can directly enter all your data over here in SPSS. And the second strategy which you can use is through your Excel sheet. You can enter all your data in Excel sheet, and then after preparing your SPSS sheet, you can just copy and paste it over here. So here are two strategies which you can use for entering your data. But I guess the best thing is just first prepare your SPSS sheet and then just put all just your data directly on SPSS. This is, I guess, the best one. But you can use any of them. There is no problem. Well, now I am just creating, a dummy questionnaire just to tell you how to enter the data. So if you look this variable view here, all the questions are being displayed here. And here is the data view. This data view just shows the responses that you have received through your surveys. For example, if we have the data and If we suppose we have just collected our first response and response against the first question is 1, so you can see the variables are automatically being created. So one thing is you can use just first put the data here, but just enter your data here, and later you can go into the variable view and then you can just rename all your variables. But in my opinion, the best strategy is just to start from variable view. Most of you who already have done any survey, they definitely have some, and they definitely have a questionnaire. For example, in front of me, there is one questionnaire. That first question in most of the surveys is regarding the gender, that what is the specific gender they belong to. So we will start from our first question. Let me clear it to you that here are two tabs and we are putting it in variable view, right? Just go here and from here you can just write gender, and when you enter it, so the first question or first item has been created. Whatever you write here vertically, it will automatically upload it in your data view. And one thing yet you must consider it while entering the names, that there should not be any space while entering your names. For example, our next question is regarding the marital status. So you can see it is shown as variable name contain an illegal character. So it means that you can't write a name with space. So what else we can do? Just marital status, and then from despite of the space, you can just remove your space and you can write it here. But still is the problem. Why? Let me clear it again. Marital, because it's required to be, there is no space between your letters. So when you enter it, so it all is just created like this. So the best strategy is do not use any space while writing the name of your question. Another thing which you can do, just put like you can put underscore here. Yes, this also word. This is how you can uh, write the name of your questions. Like next, I have third question. Let me just enter all the questions, then I will proceed further with the analysis. So next is education, right? And just enter, and when you just enter, it automatically by default created all the rest of the values, like it automatically appeared as numeric, width, decimal, label, value, missing, column, and the same way align, measure, and row. Where you need to change is, first of all, here you can like in most of the surveys analysis, you do not need to change anything over in the width and the decimal. It's just showing that what you actually want to see in your analysis and data, that decimal. For example, if we are putting it 2 here, so it means that we want to see up to 2 decimals, right? So but you can change based on your requirements. So here is the label. You can write the label because it allows you, you can write anything even with the spaces. Because here, if you are using only the name, it does not allow you to use any spaces. But here in label, you can write actual name. For example, if you want to add the complete item, you can just copy and paste it over here. For example, this is like marital status. Sorry. So you can see you can write with spaces, and whatever when you will run the analysis in your an output file, that same label will be appear. If you want to use that, that's the good thing, that you can put the complete name over here, but in the short you can write it in the name, because in the name you can't use any space. And after that, there are the values where you need to make the changes. Okay, Amna just commented here that would you upload this video on YouTube? Yes, I will try to upload this video later on this YouTube channel so you can watch it later as well. But I will recommend you to follow on the training, and if you will have any question, please write it over here so that we will have a interactive session, and also I will be able to answer all your questions. Okay, if let me proceed it further. I would like to hear from you. Where are you from? Which degree you are pursuing? Please write in the comments. And in the same way, I will continue my training. Well, next thing which we need to change is here the values. What you can do is just click it here, because SPSS is just a software. It doesn't know what actually mean by 1, 2, 3, or whatever the numbers you are using. So we need to tell the SPSS what actually mean by 1, what actually mean by 2. For example, in your questionnaire, you are using two values for gender. One is for male and two is for female. So we need to tell the SPSS that one value is for male and two is for female. So what you will tell, you will write it here in the values. Just click it here and you can write value and label. You can write male and just click add. And after that, next you can do is 2, and then you can write female. So this is how you can assign a label to each number. After that, you can just click OK. Right? When you will click OK, so the value will appear like this. So in the same way, our next item is related to marital status, and we have two values, married and non-married. One is for married and second one is for non-married. So we will put one is for married and two is for non-married, right? And just put OK. Sorry, it should not be here. We need to put it over here. Actually, I mistakenly just done it against the education, but still no problem. I can just copy and paste it over here. Okay. You can copy and paste anywhere. Okay, we can delete it. Okay. Well, we need to change it here because we do not need against the education. In education, we have more other options, like one is for intermediate and two for graduation and maybe three for master or above. So it's totally depend on your questionnaire, what the requirement, and according to the requirement, you can make the changes in the values. And another thing which you need to be added is just change the scale over here, just the Meyer. By default, it is written as unknown, but if you can put it, if you put it like unknown, still it can run the analysis, but better is just to make it as appropriate. Like for example, in the gender, there is no problem if we are taking first male or female. We just need to assign the specific value. So the gender is nominal. Because the response against the gender is nominal. And in the same way, the marital status also order is not required, so it is also nominal. And the next one is education. For sure, for education, we need to have a specific order. So that's why we put it as ordinal. So this is how you can change the Meyer here. There is no other changes required at this stage. You by other options are just by default, and now you are just ready to proceed. Uh, or you can first just enter all your data, and after that you are just ready for the analysis. Okay, suppose that we have only these three demographic variables, but for sure in your analysis you can use other demographic variables as well, like age. Okay, one request, I will request you just to focus on what has been covered here, because if you will ask some other questions, we can discuss later, but at this stage, I want the questions which are specifically related to data entry, right? So, uh, so I'm telling you that you could have more demographic variables as well. Like in the data, I have experience, or maybe some people use the age as well. So it totally depend on your study that which demographic variables you are taking for your study. So you can first you can enter all your demographic variables. After that, you can enter the items of all your variables. Like the data I have, I just directly go to our next how to enter the the response which you actually get through your Likert scale. For example, here I have in my questionnaire, there are actually the questions related to the transfer of training, transfer of motivation, and training retention and perceived self-efficacy. So first of all, like for example, I just enter the data or I just enter the items regarding the transfer of training. In my questionnaire, there are 6 items that are representing transfer of training. So how you will enter here, just like for example, I have 6 items. So I will use the abbreviation like TT1 and just enter. And after that, I need to make the change over here. And in the label, if you want to write, you can write complete name if you need to. And in the value, you can just write the complete response, like whole label, whatever you are using. For example, one value is for strongly disagree, and two for disagree, and then three is for neutral, and then four is for agree, and then five is for strongly agree, and just click OK. And after that, you need to change because it's a scale. You just click the scale. There is no change is required against this item. So I have 6 items against the transfer of training. So I need to enter all the items here. Like next, I can just TT2. And also one strategy you can use here, because if you have like big data you want to enter, it will take a lot of your time. So what you can do, just let me open an Excel file where you can just use some shortcut. I guess this is also a good thing that you should learn so that you can complete your data analysis in the minimum time. So what you can do is TT1, TT2, and after that you can just drag and just enter all 6 items, because I have 6 items against transfer of training. So I will just copy and maybe I can just paste it here. So this is how I can speedily just enter all my data. Now I just need to make the change in the value. I do not need to re-enter everything, just copy and paste. Sorry, let's just copy and then you can just paste, paste, and so this is how you can just speedily enter all your data. And here in the label, if you want, you can, but most of the time, because I already know it, TT is stand for transfer of training, and I just abbreviated it myself. So in the analysis, I will know that TT is representing transfer of training. But if you want that, you can assign a label, like you can write actual label here, transfer of training 1, transfer of training 2, and so on. So this is how you can enter all your data. If you have any question regarding the things which I have covered so far, you can write in the comments. So whatever we are entering here in the variable view, you will see everything is appear in this first row here. Because up to now we have just created gender, marital status, education, and 6 items. So all these are appear here. So this is how you can enter your complete questionnaire in variable view. Uh, Let me check if I can just, because it's just using my complete screen, so I'm not sure if I can just increase the font size. But if later you want to see this video, you can just enlarge it on your computer screen or laptop, wherever you want to see. So anyway, I am talking about, this is how you can enter your complete questionnaire here in the variable view, and after that all these will appear here in your data. These are appear because I have mistakenly just entered one value, that's why it's just showing here. So we will just delete it. So suppose that we have only these 3 demographic variables and just one variable, transfer of training. So we will have our first response, and then for example, if we have the value against the gender, the respondent just filled 1. So we will put it here. In the same way, if the person is married, then he might be put 2, education level 3, and same way we could have the response against all other items, all others, for example, item here. So this is how we will complete our first response of respondent 1. Uh, Abdul Basit, thank you for your comments. In this video, I will just only focus on data entry. Then after that, I will focus on how to do the descriptive analysis. And after that, I will move towards how to create the variables, how to find out clone by alpha value, and finally will be ended up on the correlation. But if you are interested in any other video right now, maybe you can go to the channel and can watch other videos as well. Or if you are interested in any other topic, any other advanced topic, maybe you can follow our next trainings. But okay, anyway, so this is how you can enter your whole data, but I will not waste my complete time in data entry. So I already have this uh, data from the 40 respondents. So I will proceed with the next analysis. But first, I want to make sure if you understand everything, whatever is being covered now regarding the data entry. So again, this is the complete question here. Here you can see all the demographic variables, and then we have the items related to transfer of training, related to training retention, then perceived self-efficacy, then perceived training utility. And so I have so many variables. So I already just put all the data in this sheet. So I'm just removing the averages because I will calculate it again. So, so this is how you can enter your data. Now we are moving toward our analysis part. First of all, the descriptive statistics. At this stage, I want to hear from you. Where are you from? Which degree you are pursuing, so that our session will be more interactive rather than if I am just speaking and there is no response from your side. Because if you are commenting here, so it will encourage me that people are listening, and it will motivate me to share more information regarding these analyses. Thank you, Abdul Basit. And inshallah, in coming days, I will cover some other advanced level analysis as well, not only the SPSS, but also AMOS, Smart PLS, and we will also look into the advanced methodologies and also the analysis on different softwares. So now we are proceeding towards the descriptive statistics. So what you will do, just go to analyze. Whenever you need to make any analysis in SPSS, most of the option you will find in the analyze, right? So you will go to analyze, and in order to calculate the descriptives, you have actually two options. One is through frequencies and other one is through descriptives. But to be honest, I myself, I prefer frequencies because it's give you more information related to your descriptive statistics, your demographic variables. Tosif, thank you for your comment. For sure, in my next week training, I will cover regression, mediation analysis, moderation analysis. So inshallah, we will cover those analyses as well. No worries. Well, in descriptive statistic, most of the time we need the information regarding our respondents. So that's why we use this option, descriptive statistics. If you look into the different journal articles, the first thing which is displayed in the articles, you will see the descriptive statistics. So again, I will repeat again, go to analyze descriptive statistic, and then frequencies. And from here, you can just select all your descriptive, all variables that are representing your demographics. Here we have gender, marital status, education, age, and experience. And from the statistics, you have some other options. For example, if you are interested in mean, if you are interested in minimum value, maximum value, and also you can use skewness and kurtosis if you are interested to look into the normality of the data. But at this stage, I'm not discussing the normality. I am just focusing on descriptives. So I will just click the mean, minimum, maximum, and in the chart you can put, for instance, if you need any graph regarding each of your descriptives or maybe demographic variables, you can just click like histogram, or maybe if you want to add some normal curve in that. So these are options are just enough. You can just click OK. When you will click OK, actually it will show you this output window. Whenever you just run any analysis, it will show the results in your output window. So here you can see all the data, all the details of your demographic variables. First of all, you can see the valid responses, because in this data, I have all the valid responses. There is no missing value. And you can see the valid responses against the gender, 40 in the same way. Marital status, we have 40 responses in the same way against the education, age, and experience. And you can see here there is no missing value. Why? Because in my data, from the 40 respondent, there was no missing value. So that's why it is not shown here. But in case you have some data missing, then it will automatically shown here that the specific values are missing. And after that, you can see the mean values, and you can also see the minimum value and maximum value. This is actually shown that against the gender, you have minimum 1 and you have maximum 2. In the same way, in the education column, you have uh, minimum value 2, because the respondents, they did not click, or they did not just mark 1. All the respondents which and the response we received, all the values are from 2 to 5. So that's why it is written here the 2 and the maximum is 5. So in the same way, we have the response 1, 4, 1, 3, and all that. And next we have frequency table, which normally we add in our uh, descriptive analysis table. So you can see the male, we have out of the total 40 respondent, we have 26 males and 14 females with 65%. And here you can see the percentage, valid percentage, and cumulative percentage. So you can take all the information based on your requirements. Some universities actually recommend just to copy and paste, but most of the journals, they have their own requirements and they have their own format, so you can follow the required format, and then you can just uh, take the required information and just paste in your tables. So you can have all the information regarding your all demographic variables: gender, marital status, education, age, experience. And in the same way, you can also, because we also just mark the charts, so we have this histogram as well. You can also just extract the other formats as well, like if you want to have pie charts and other kind of charts, you can just directly take from that SPSS analysis. So this is how you can have all the information related to your demographic variables. Another thing, this particular option you can also use to trace out the wrong entries. If there are some wrong entries, you can use this descriptive options to trace out the wrong entries. How? Let me tell you. This, you can go to analyze. First, let me made some mistake in my data so that we can just extract the wrong entries in our data. For example, if while entering the data, I just mistakenly done 5 in our, actually it should be written just 5, but mistakenly I have written 5. And in the same way here, I just mistakenly done 3. So how to trace out these kind of mistakes? So, and also let me just have this vacant, so that let me show you that how you can see if there is any missing value. So again, we will go to analyze, descriptives, and then you can click frequencies. And from here, you can just enter all your items. For example, first of all, the demographic variables, and also you can just enter other items. For example, just for example, as example, I'm just taking, okay, let me take all the items. Okay, one thing you can just select one by one, and other strategy which you can use, just select the first one. Sorry, select the first one and just press your shift button and just click the last one. So in this way, you can just select all your items in one go, and then just click it here. And now you can see you have all the items, all the question on this variable side. And again, same options already been clicked, so you do not need to click it again and again. You can just put OK. So it just take few seconds, and then it will run the analysis. Yes, it then. Okay, let me start from here and let me tell you how to trace the wrong entries in your data. From here, you can see that first of all, you can look into the valid and missing uh, rows. Like first of all, you can see that in out of total responses, you have yes 40 responses, 40, 40, and yes, because we just intentionally make it missing. So it is shown here that in the age column, there is one response that is missing. So you can go to your data and from here you can just quickly trace it down that oh yes, this is what you have missed, and then you can just look the actual questionnaire and just put the value here. And also you can look the minimum and maximum value to trace out the wrong entries. And from here you can see 1 2 yes, there is no error, no error, no error. Oh yes, because we had 5-point Likert scale data, and then you can see that the values could be from 1 to 5. But here you can see that against the TT1 you can see the minimum value is 1 and the maximum value is 55, so which is not possible, so it must be a wrong entry. So what you will do, just go to TT1 and try to trace the 55 because it must be wrongly entered. And here you can go, yes. So here we just traced it out that we have the wrong entry and just we make the corrections. So sorry, let move it upside so that we can just have a quick look uh, on the other items as well. In the same way, you can just quickly go through each of these values and see if there is any wrong entry. There is no wrong entry, but just only one. Against TT4, it is 3, 3, which is also not possible because we have only 5 values, 1 to 5. We just go to TT4 and make the corrections. And here you can see TT4, oh yes, this is how you can make the corrections in your data. So now our data is just ready uh, to be proceeded for next analysis. So in the next step, what we can do, we can first of all, we can find the cron by alpha value, and after that we will create the variable because in our analysis we do not use all the items because we need to have the averages of all the items related to a specific construct. Because in order to run the correlation regression, for example, first of all I have transfer of training that consists of 6 items. So in order to run the correlation between the transfer of training and training retention, I need to have the averages of all the items of transfer of training, and then also need to have the construct transfer of training, sorry, training retention, just to have the average of all the items of training retention. So just follow me. I will tell you how to create the variable, but first I want to tell you how to calculate the cron by alpha value of your data. Uh, can anybody tell me that what actually mean by cron by alpha and why we need to find out cron by alpha value? Please write in the comments why we need to run reliability analysis. We actually do the reliability analysis by calculating cron by alpha value. Okay, there is no response from the audience. So let me explain you. Actually, when we talk about reliability analysis, sorry, there is a noise outside. We were discussing about the reliability analysis. We do have reliability analysis just to check the internal consistency between the items. If the different, if because like in our case, we have 6 items for transfer of training, and we are interested to look if there is a internal consistency between all these 6 items. We need to find out Cronbach alpha value. So let me tell you how to calculate the Cronbach alpha values. For this purpose, you need to go to Analyze, and from here you need to go to Scale. And from the scale, you can just click reliability analysis. Again, most of the analysis you need to go to Analyze, and you will see all the options here. So go to Analyze, and after that you just need to go to Scale and click Reliability Analysis. When you click the reliability analysis, you need to just select all the items of one construct. So first we need to, we have to run it again and again for each of our construct. Like we have in this study, we have different variables. First of all, let's take the items of transfer of training, TT1 to TT6. We will just select and just click it here. So all these items just transfer in this box. And in the statistics, we will click this option. This option is very useful if there is a problem in our data, or there is like if our Cronbach alpha value is less than the acceptable range, then this option will give us some sort of freedom, or maybe it can tell us that which item is problematic, and we can just have the acceptable value by deleting that particular one item. So just click this option, and after that click OK. When we will click OK, so these results are appear. And here you can see that by using the 6 items of transfer of training, we have the Cronbach alpha value 0.792. So most of the researchers, they suggest that the acceptable value of Cronbach alpha is zero point 0.7. So it should be at least 0.7. Although there are some reference that also recommend and the minimum value is 0.6, or maybe in very few studies you will find the 0.5 as well, but you should try to have at least zero point 0.7, because most of the scholars, they recommend the Cronbach alpha value of 0.7. But you can see that there is after that there is another table that is representing all the items, and here you can see the Cronbach alpha if the item deleted. You can see that TT1, if we delete, it means that if we delete TT1, then our Cronbach alpha value will become 0.762. So it means that it's just reducing. We actually do not need, at this stage, we do not need to use this option. We only use this option if our value, Cronbach alpha value, is less than 0.7. Then we will look into these values, that if we can delete any of these items, so that after deleting that item, our Cronbach alpha value will be increased up to the acceptable range. For example, if we want to increase the Cronbach alpha value, in case, because here it is not required, just as example, that we can see that after deleting TT6, our Cronbach alpha value will become 0.845. Let me quickly demonstrate you how can you just delete one item. Just go to scale, then reliability analysis, and from here you can just remove your last DT6 because it will increase your cron by alpha value. And click OK. When you will click OK, you can see that now it is shown that by using the 5 items, your cron by alpha value is 0.845. So this is how you can have your cron by alpha value in acceptable range by deleting 1 or 2 of your items if you need. But if you already have the value 0.7 or higher, then you do not need to delete any of your items. And as a researcher, you always try to retain your items. Okay, you do not need to delete any of your item if you already have cron by alpha value in acceptable range. So I hope all of you have understand how to calculate cron by alpha value in SPSS. So this is how you will calculate the cron by alpha value for each of your variable. After finding out the cron by alpha value, the next step is just to create your variables. So because in order to run the correlation analysis, in order to run the regression analysis, you need to have the averages of all the items which you are using for your analysis. For example, here our cron by alpha value is in acceptable range by using the 6 item. So in order to calculate the average or in order to create this construct transfer of training, we will use all these 6 items. Let me tell you how to find out the average. So here this particular option transform, you can see it here. You will click just transform and click compute variable. In compute variable, you can first of all just write it down the target variable. For instance, we are creating the construct of transfer of training, so we just abbreviate it as TT. So now here in the numeric expression, first we will put the brackets and then we will enter all our items that are representing transfer of training. Sorry, it's just repeat. So I will just delete this item. Okay, this last one. So we have 6 items. After the brackets, we will put just the divide sign. And since we have 6 items here, so we will put divide by 6 and okay. When we'll click OK, you can see that in the output, you can see the it is just executed. And when you will click execute, you will see that a new variable is being created here with the name TT. But for sure, you can assign any name depend on your own easiness and convenience. So in the same way, you will also need to find out found the averages of your other constructs as well. Just reset, and our next variable is TR, that is representing training retention. So we will take TR, and here since we have 5 items, so first we will take this one and plus and then just divide by, since we have only 5 items, so we only need to divide by 5. And here you need to remember one thing, that here we will use only those items which we have used to find out our cron by alpha value. Because if there is a case that our cron by alpha value is less than 0.7, and in order to make it higher than zero point 0.7, we had to delete one of the item, and then we will, and then in order to find out the averages, we will use the same number of items that have been used to get the acceptable value of Cron by alpha value, Cron by alpha, right? So for example, if we have the acceptable value of Cron by alpha by using the 5 items, then we will use 5 items to find out the average here. But in case if TR, while calculating the TR, our Cron by alpha value is in acceptable range by using the 4 item, then here we will use only 4 items for calculating the average. But here we are assuming that we already have the Cron by alpha value in acceptable range. So we just adding up the 5 items and then divided by 5 and then okay. So here you can see that the next variable is also being created. So this is how you will calculate the averages of all your variables. After that, you can proceed with your correlations, regressions, and other advanced level analysis. I say another thing, most of the student they got confused at how to transfer these results on your uh, MS Word file. So one strategy is you can just copy and paste these tables on your sheet on your MS Office. Just directly copy and paste. Another thing which you can do is here, just go to file and just here is option is export. When you click the export, it's give you bunch of options to transfer. It can give you in Word format, it can give you in PowerPoint, text. It can even give you as a web page if you want to show these results on a specific website. So this option is also very useful if you want to share your results with your supervisor, with your any colleague, or you want to share at any forum on Facebook or any website. This is option is very useful. So again, let me repeat what we have covered so far up to now. We looked how to enter the data, then we looked how to run the descriptive statistics, and then we looked how to trace the wrong entries in your data, and after that uh, we just done the Cron by alpha value, that how to do the reliability analysis, and after that now we just did how to calculate the averages of your variables, because these averages are which you will use in your correlation analysis, in your regression analysis, and other advanced level analysis. For example, if you want to run the mediation, if you want to run the moderation, if you want to run one-way ANOVA and other analysis, then you need to use these averages. But in today's video, we will just do the correlation analysis. For correlation analysis, if you want to do the correlation analysis between your 2 or more variables, then you will need to go to analyze and then bivariate. In bivariate, here are some options, and from here you will only select the averages. You will not select the items, just the averages. Just because, and due to the shortage of time, I just used these two variables, transfer of training and training retention, but you can use 3, 4, or maybe as much as you want, or based on your study. You will select these two variables, and then you can, because most of the time when you if you see the correlation results, you will see that they have also mentioned the mean and standard deviation as well. So SPSS give you an option that along with the correlation analysis, you can also have these mean and standard deviation as well. So we can just click this as well. Continue. Let me tell you it again that you can have as many variables as you have, but since we have only two variables that we have just calculated the averages of only two variables, that's why we are taking two. But if you have 5, 6 or any number of variables, so you can take in a one go all these variables here. And after that, just click OK. Before explaining this, what these results are representing, I want to ask what's the difference between correlation and regression? Please write in the comments. What's the difference between correlation and regression? Because as a researcher, it is very important to understand the difference between these two terminologies. Because students often get confused at whether we need to run the correlation analysis or regression analysis in order to examine our hypothesis. So can anyone of you can tell us that what's the difference between correlation and regression? Please write in the comments. Okay, there is no response from the audience. So I guess it's a good idea that I should tell you the difference between the regression and correlation. Actually, when we are interested to see only the association between two variables, then we can run correlation analysis. Because, for example, if we want to see that if there is any association between, for example, if we are considering this example, we are interested to see if there is any association between transfer of training and training retention. So we will simply run this correlation analysis. So these values will tell us whether if there is any significant association between two or more variables. But we will need to run the regression analysis if we want to, or we are interested to see the impact of one variable on the other, or if we are interested to see the cause and effect, then we need to run the regression analysis. In most of the studies, we have the hypothesis like, um, for example, if we are considering this example, uh, training retention is positively related to transfer of training. Tosif, thank you for your comments. You are absolutely right that the correlation shows the relationship between two variables, while regression allows us to see how one affect other. As you see in this example, we just run the correlation, and the value here you can see the first value. First of all, you can see that here the values of mean and standard deviation, which you can just write in the table of your correlation. Because in most of the time, researcher actually write both values. First of all, the mean standard deviation, and then after that, you will see this particular table of correlation. And here you can see, first of all, the correlation between TT and TT. Whenever you are running the correlation between the same variables, so it will give you the highest value because they are just the same. So that's why we have the highest correlation one between transfer of training and transfer of training. And after that, these results, which we can see here, it's 0.440 with two static. So it shows that the correlation value, this particular value is correlation coefficient, which is usually represented by R. So the R value is here 0.440. In order to see whether this particular value is significant or insignificant, we will look into this steric. And what these sterics are shown here, you can see the note here, the correlation is significant as at the 0.01 level. Because in social sciences, most of the time we consider the significance level as 95% coefficient interval. So it means that you can see that if the significance value here, you can see that if this one is less than 0.05, so it means that our correlation coefficient is significant. As you can see here, this correlation coefficient is 0.440, and you can see here the significance level is 0.004, which is quite less than 0.05. So it shows that there is significant association between your transfer of training and training retention. And also it is also shown with static. You can also see the note here. So this is how you can find out the correlation between two or more variables. So as an example, I just want to share you the results of one of my paper so that you will have an idea that how to proceed with the analysis. So this is my model. Here you can see that these are the independent variables of self-efficacy, training retention, then we have one mediating variable, and then the outcome transfer of training. And in this analysis, first of all, this particular information is related to your demographic variables, which are shown here. And you can calculate this demographic analysis by using the options which I shown today, the descriptive statistics. And after that, here you can see the Cronb alpha value, and then mean standard deviation, and finally the correlation. So this is how you can write the results of your thesis. Or maybe if you are working on a research paper, in the same way you can use these kind of formattings for your research papers. So I guess we will end up this training here, and from in our next training in next week, and probably maybe on Friday and or Saturday, I will announce on the same channel. And in that training, we will cover regression analysis, then we will cover mediation and moderation. So if you want, if you are interested to learn what are the concepts of mediation, moderation, and regression, then just join us in our next training. So if you have any question, what we have covered so far today, so you can ask in comments. Thanks for joining us. Also, if you have any particular suggestions, so this will also motivate us to come up with these kind of trainings. In future, I have a plan to have so many training, like first of all, the analysis on basic analysis on SPSS, and after that, we will move towards AMOS and other software as well, if you are interested to learn the structural equation modeling. So thank you very much. If you will have any other question after ending this training, still it will be available on this channel. So you can write in the comments if you will have any further questions. Take care and good night.